Today we are sitting down because I hurt my foot a lot, so we are back inside. We're covering 36, 37 and 38. We're talking about the wisdom of obscurity, we're talking about gardening, we're talking about glamour, and we're talking about allow and return to the Tao. Because if you can summarize the key of Tao Te Ching in one phrase that rhymes, it would be allow and return to the Tao. So it's a very good episode today. Let's just get started. When there's silence, one finds the anchor of the universe within oneself. I have no idea. So the 36th verse, I love this verse so much. This verse can be summarized in the wisdom of obscurity. And if you do not know what obscurity means, because I did not know what that meant, so I had to look it up. I'm going to read you here what I found. Obscurity means like unclear, unknown, difficult to understand, or unnoticed. So the wisdom here is the wisdom of going unnoticed. And that is so much against everything we have been taught in our lives. Well, I do not know about you, but definitely everything I have been taught in my life by society. You know, we are always taught about all of the glamour. All of the glamour. That's like the goal of life, is to be in all of the glamour. It is to be in television. It is to be famous. It is to be known. It is to be number one. It is to be the best at something. Not the second best. It's to be the best of something. Create that world record, etc., blah, blah, blah. You know, it's always the glamour. That's the way we are looking at how much success a human being has in life. How good his life is. But this is the wisdom of obscurity. This is the wisdom of going beneath, the wisdom of being unknown. And I really love that. So let's get to it, shall we? Should you want to contain something, you must deliberately let it expand. Should you want to weaken something, you must deliberately let it grow strong. Should you want to eliminate something, you must deliberately allow it to flourish. Should you want to take something away, you must deliberately grant it access. The lesson here is called the wisdom of obscurity. The gentle outlast the strong, the obscure outlast the obvious. Fish cannot leave deep waters, and a country's weapons should not be displayed. Beautiful, right? So the way I see that this verse is structured is like this. Should you want to control something, you must deliberately take a step back and let it be, and let it flourish. Should you want to contain something, you must deliberately let it expand. So us trying to control, contain, weaken, eliminate, take something away, like control, all kind of goes in the category of control. We must deliberately let it expand, let it grow, allow it to flourish, grant it access. That is all in the of taking a step back and letting it be. And I think this is our lower nature because it is us controlling. And when we catch ourselves doing that, we must deliberately do the opposite. We must deliberately take a step back and let it be, to let it expand, to let it express itself the way it wishes to express itself. Now, a good example of when could this be? Let's say if you are in a relationship, it's a good example because many of us are, and relationships are difficult. They're wonderful and they're difficult. And if your partner is behaving in a certain way, or children or whatever, is behaving in a certain way and you feel like you have to control it because it's uncomfortable for you or whatever, but you go into that, you want to control them, you want them to shut up or etc., then we must deliberately take that step back and allow them to express themselves the way that they wish to express themselves. But then I'm also thinking about, doing gardening. Because here, if you want to eliminate something, you must deliberately allow it to flourish. Now, if I have a garden and I have vegetables and I have fruit trees, etc., I want them to grow strong, which means I want to eliminate all of the weed. But then I must deliberately allow it to flourish. I don't think that it's then it does not count here. I don't think it's like that. I don't see it like that. But I don't know, or maybe it's just like, is it just a stupid example? What about this? I don't know, but I'm thinking about it because I want to eliminate that. But is it with the mindset of wanting to eliminate it? Or is it with the mindset that I wish to help my plants to grow strong? Because we are also aware, we are also, we are also designing and creating in this way, because I think that's really our nature. Like, we have to do it in order for our vegetables to grow strong. And there is in a book about a Buddhist, I forget, it's called The Beginner's Mind, Zen Mind, where he talks about, even as a Buddhist that loves everything and all the whole expression of, the love and the whole expression of everything, still we pick up and remove the weed, and we are delighted by the sight of flowers and delighted by the smell of flowers. So we still have like that. We don't want the weed, we want the flowers. But then we are not against, because then there's Mother Teresa. Mother Teresa says that she's not against anything. And every time we go against something, we go weak. But every time that we are for something, we go strong. So if I'm against war, that means that I become weak because I'm against something, I'm fighting against something. But if I'm for peace, then I'm growing strong because I am for something. It's like if you're against something, your energy is fighting something. But if you're for something, the energy can flow and expand. So maybe that's what this is. Like, I'm for my vegetables growing. I'm not against the weed. But at the same time, I have to eliminate the weed for my vegetables to grow. The lesson here is called the Wisdom of Obscurity. The gentle outlast the strong, the obscure outlast the obvious. I feel here, we talked about it. I feel here what we talked about, I think it's 2 videos back, be a valley under the heaven. That's what we were talking about. And we talked about the depth of the valley is what gives the height to the mountains. And I think this... Gracias, corazón. No, te amo. We were talking about that the depth of the valley is what gives the height to the mountains. If the valley was trying to be as high as the mountains, there would be no mountains. I think this is also the wisdom of obscurity, of being beneath, of being unnoticed, of doing service, but of doing it invisibly without anyone noticing. I think this covers it quite nice. Then there's this one. Fish cannot leave deep waters. What does that mean? I have been thinking about this, and it actually goes with the other one. Fish cannot leave deep waters, and a country's weapons should not be displayed. How are these two linked together? I do not see that. Por favor, if you have any reflections, write them in the comments below. Fish cannot leave deep waters, and a country's weapons should not be displayed. What does that mean? A country's weapons should not be displayed. That one I find pretty obvious, because it's like, what do we get? We get Cold War. We get somebody saying, oh, I have these weapons and I'm so strong with these weapons. Then we have the other one saying, oh, I have these weapons. And then they are fighting against who has the highest mountains, right? They are fighting against who has the strongest, most deadly weapon. And then we got the Cold War. Stupidity, in my mind. Fish cannot leave deep waters. I have no idea what that means. So por favor, write it in the comments below if you have any reflections upon that. I would love to hear. Now, let's jump further to the next verse, 37th. The Tao does nothing, but leaves nothing undone. If powerful men could center themselves in it, the whole world would be transformed by itself in its natural rhythms. When life is simple, pretence fall away. Our essential natures shine through. By not wanting there is calm, and the world will straighten itself. When there is silence, one finds the anchor of the universe within oneself. That's very, very beautiful. The Tao does nothing, but leaves nothing undone. This is a thing that you hear again and again and again and again, and also with the Masters. The Masters does nothing, but nothing is left undone. When we look at nature, it is kind of like that. The nature does nothing, but nothing is left undone. what does the sky do? Like, what does the sky do? The sky does nothing. The sky just is. But it is covering the whole world with it, with all of the atmosphere and everything. What about air? What does air do? What about space? Like, what does space do? Space does nothing. But space is essential for everything to exist. Everything is existence of yin and yang, of spaciousness and thingness, of nothingness and thingness. Nothingness being no thingness, right? So what does space do? Space does nothing, but nothing's left undone. It is just the way it is. I have no idea how to explain, because I don't understand either. I kind of understand and I kind of don't understand. But and the same with thingness. Like, what does thingness do? Well, thingness doesn't do anything, but at the same time, it is essential for the whole universe. And that dance between thingness and nothingness is the life of the whole universe, the dance between yin and yang. When life is simple, pretence fall away, our essential nature shines through. Life is so complicated, right? And why is life so complicated? By not wanting, there is calm, and the whole world will straighten itself. So we want. Wanting is then the noise, and also the complications. I remember back in the day when I was young, I was not satisfied of being Jonathan. I did not like Jonathan. Jonathan was only my family could call me that, but no one else. Now I had an artist name. I called myself Ky Rima, which were my two, my middle name and my last name, but they were like changed because I wanted so much not to be who I am. I wanted so much not to be Jonathan. In that state of mind, there's a lot of noise. In that state of mind, there's a lot of pretense. And there's not a lot of our essential nature shining through. It's always something trying to be something. It's always trying to be better, trying to be exceptional. Again, what we talked about in the other verse actually, is like the glamour. I wanted to be so exceptional. I wanted to be something special. But being special is very much the opposite of being simple, right? Then through the journey, it was very fun. Then then after a long time, I realized, oh, I am so fake. I am not authentic at all. Now I will be a completely authentic Jonathan. And then I wanted to change my name. I changed my name to, I did not do it, but like, and then I was calling myself Jonathan Rose, like as the flower rose, rose. And oh my God, so embarrassing to think back on. Because then I wanted to be completely and pure authenticity. And then I was in spiritual pride in being a completely pure, authentic being. Oh my gosh. Then when I wanted to change my name, I found out I could not change my name to Jonathan Rose. Thank God, thank you Lord. Then what I did was I removed my last name, Ky. That name is from my father, and then I kept the name of my mother, because I love my mom so much. I also love my father, of course, but I really wanted that link with my mother. So then I changed my name to Jonathan Rima, and that's what I'm called now. And that for me has like the perfect expression like of who I am. That for me is simplicity, of just being Jonathan Rima, of just being who I am. And then my essential nature shines through. And that's also when we get weird. That's also when we get all of those characteristics of us as human beings that really makes us special. When we are being simple, we are being special. But when we are being fake, we're just being fakes. And there's nothing special about being fake. It is beautiful though. It is beautiful that we construct the mind in a way that allows us to pretend to be who we are not. That is quite a journey too. Quite a beautiful journey too. By not wanting, there's calm and the whole world will straighten itself. But then what is all of this? Like, why do we pretend? I think that the reason why we pretend is that we were taught right from wrong. And the way we interpreted it is that when I do this, I am a good boy. I am lovable. And when I do this, I am not lovable. So we then make the split between our sun and our shadow, between our light and our shadow, yang and yin, right? And we say to our shadow that this cannot be us. This cannot be who we are, because then we are not lovable. Then we had to get rid of that. And then we are pretending that is not a part of us. We are pretending all of the time to be in our summer, to be happy, to be good. Oh, life is going good. But maybe we are in a deep, black, cold, dark winter. But can we express that? Now, back in the day, I was actually expressing that, because I was so tired that we would not talk about if I was feeling shit, if I was feeling bad or depressed, and I was depressed, we were not talking about it. We were pretending that, oh, we are just good and everything is good. And I was so annoyed by that. So when people asked me how I was doing, I was like, shit, I'm feeling horrible, life is shit, I'm super depressed, I hate everything, I hate everyone. And this was not okay. This was not a way of behaving like socially. It was very much looked down upon, and people did not want to talk with me. People did not want to be with me because, oh, I'm so negative, or etc., etc. But I felt like we're just pretending so much that life is what it's not. Because life is also the shadow, life is also the cold, life is also that which we don't want life to be. And when we are in a more simple life, allowing everything to be what it is, maybe that's the simplicity. We're just allowing everything to be, like we're not making it complicated in our minds. We are not analyzing. When we are analyzing, we are like taking everything apart and like trying to understand, we are ripping things apart when we are analyzing. But that's not what we are doing, we're just allowing. And that creates simplicity. We're just allowing things to be and things to express the way it is to be and the way it is to express. When there's silence, one finds the anchor of the universe within oneself. By not wanting, there's calm. Wanting to control everything. We just talked about this too. When there's silence, one finds the anchor of the universe within oneself. I have no idea. Well, by not wanting, there's calm. So, by not wanting, how do we not want then? Well, the way we do not want it, I think, is to allow return to the Tao. Allow everything to be exactly what it is. And that also means like allow the wanting. Because if I want to change my wanting to not be there, I am interfering yet again. So I think again is allow the wanting to be there. Because it is a part of that whole expression. Oh, the screen got a little light. Let me make it a little dark. Now, the 38th verse. No, this is not true. The 38th, that's not where we are. We are the 37th, no? No, the 38th. 38th verse. A truly good man is not aware of his goodness, and is therefore good. A foolish man tries to be good, and is therefore not good. The master does nothing, yet he leaves nothing undone. The ordinary man is always doing things, yet many more are left to be done. The highest virtue is to act without sense of self. The highest kindness is to give without condition. The highest justice is to see without preference. When the Tao is lost, there is goodness. When the goodness is lost, there is morality. When morality is lost, there is ritual. Ritual is the husk of true faith, the beginning of chaos. The great master follows his own nature and not the trappings of life. It is said, he stays with the fruit and not the fluff. He stays with the firm and not the flimsy. He stays with the true and not the false. Wow, man. I was reflecting a lot on the very first thing we got here. A truly good man is not aware of his goodness and therefore is good. A foolish man tries to be good and therefore is not good. Because it's like, now I don't wanna like say if I agree or anything like that. Because the way I see it, my thoughts are very in relationship to this text written by a master, translated afterwards, of course, maybe it's something about the translation then. Because a truly good man is not aware of his goodness. I just simply doesn't know if I agree with that. But my agreements and my thoughts are not important. But then I also have to remember, like, this is something that was written 3,500 years ago, 3,000 years ago, something like that, in Old Chinese, and then has been translated to Newer Chinese, and then has been translated to English. And everyone has their own translation, own interpretation of it. So this could very well be part of the translation. Because, but then a foolish man tries to be good. So I understand it in the context of the second verse, but if I were to read that alone, if I were to read this alone, I simply just don't know if I agree, because a truly good man, of course, must know that he's good, because a truly good man is an aware man, so he is aware of his actions, he's aware of the consequences of his actions, he's aware of goodness. So surely this cannot be true. But then if we see it in the context of what it says below, a foolish man tries to be good and therefore is not good, then it makes sense. Because, and also when we go like further down, when the Tao is lost, there is goodness. So only when the Tao is lost, there is goodness. Then the concept of good and evil is being presented. It's only when the Tao is lost that the good and evil is being presented, concepts. So, a truly good man is not aware of his goodness. Maybe it is because he is at one with the Tao. The qualities of the Tao is the qualities that we will express as goodness, as loving, as giving. The qualities of the Tao is the highest of virtue, to act without sense of self, the highest kindness, to give without condition, the highest of justice, to see without preference. Those are the qualities of the Tao. The highest justice is to see without preference. This brings me back to the verse where he says that the Tao is like the water, flows like water into those places where man does not want to go. And to everyone is nurturing everything and everyone without condition and without preference. So in the context of that, I do understand it. And also, does the sky knows that it's good? Is it good? It is just what it is. But then again, it is goodness. Like everything is expressing that wonder, those qualities of the Tao. Is it good? Well, good also says that something is bad. Is a fire bad? Well, a forest fire is also necessary in the way for the forest to flourish. Like, it's not good nor bad. Is a tornado that destroys? Is it bad? No. Is it good? No. Like, can you say that about nature? Can you say that about nature, that there is good and bad? I don't know if you can. I heard one say, I'm not sure who it was, maybe it was Alan Watts, but I'm not sure, who explained war as a natural phenomenon. And instead of explaining war as, something good or bad, he says it as a natural phenomenon, like a forest fire. He actually says that. And he says, is a forest fire good or bad? It's neither. It just is. And the quality of the forest fire is what it is. So you cannot put those qualities into nature. I don't think that. It doesn't feel right. Because the qualities of nature is the qualities of nature. The highest virtue, the highest kindness, and the highest justice. So a truly good man is not aware of his goodness because he is acting in the virtue, in the qualities of the Tao, in the qualities of nature, and therefore is not even thinking about it as goodness. Maybe that's it. He's not even thinking about it as goodness. He's just acting out his nature. He's just being his nature. He's not even acting, because the master does nothing, yet he leaves nothing undone. So he's not even acting, he's just being. He is being his nature. Maybe that's what they mean. Maybe that is what they mean. So there is no question, there is no thought for him about being good. Maybe that's it, actually. There's no thought about being good because he is just being the qualities of the true beingness. yeah, I think I understand it now. That's very nice. I was really scratching my head around this for such a long time. Like, what does he mean about this? A foolish man tries to be good and therefore is not good. Yeah, I like that. I like that. Goodness is not something we can do. Goodness is something that we are. And then at one point in time, we transcend that goodness into be like just the qualities of the Tao, the qualities of the highest virtue, the highest kindness, and the highest justice. I really like that. I really like that. Well, so there we go. Those were the verses for today. Man, so much wisdom in this. And how do we live in this? How do we know the firm from the flimsy too? I think we know that the more simple our mind is, the more calm our mind is, we get better at like seeing things for what they truly are. When we stop analyzing so much, we get better at just seeing in a calm space, in a simple mind. And with a simple mind, we can like see things for what they are. We don't make anything more complicated than it has to be, or that it actually is. I think maybe that's the key. The key is, of course, as always, allow and return to the Tao. Allow and return to the Tao. I definitely feel like that is the message that I'm getting from Tao Te Ching. Allow and return to the Tao. That is the way to live in harmony. Because every time that we try to put our energy in something out here, in controlling or whatsoever, allow and return to the Tao. But it also means allowing your actions. Like if you want to do something, well, then allowing the actions. If you're resisting something, well, then allowing the resistance. Like everything has to be, allow everything to be exactly what it is. For me, that is the message of Tao Te Ching. Allow and return to the Tao. Thank you for watching. I truly hope you enjoy it. Truly hope you got something out of it. Help me with that fish cannot leave deep waters. Por favor, write in the comments, what do you think? Yeah, thank you for watching. Have a beautiful day. Have a blessings day. See you next Tuesday in Tao Tuesday. Be happy.